Welcome back, Fear Fiends, to the Chillergeist Horror League. We're plunging into the abyss of existential dread with our Cosmic Horror Edition. In one corner, we have the tentacled titan of incomprehensible terror, Cthulhu. And in the other corner, the radiant, mind-warping force of nature, the color out of space. This is a clash of pure, unadulterated cosmic insignificance. And the winner, based on its sheer, overwhelming, universe-shattering dread, is the one, the only, Cthulhu.
Affirmative, Doctor. Subject Cthulhu's higher existential dread quotient and narrative inevitability score provided a statistically insurmountable advantage over the color's more localized, though still highly efficient, reality distortion field.
Now for a match that plays on the very nature of perception. In one corner, we have the invisible, madness-inducing entities, the creatures from Bird Box. And in the other corner, the geometrically warping, identity-dissolving phenomenon known as the shimmer entity from Annihilation. This is a battle between sight and self. And after a fascinating display of reality-bending power, the victor is the creatures from Bird Box.
Indeed, Doctor. The creature's superior containment bypass metric, achieving global saturation and forcing a sustained sensory deprivation protocol in a broad human demographic, yielded a higher statistical rank than the shimmer's geographically constrained genetic replication zone.
Time for a confrontation between the forces behind the veil. In one corner, we've got the surgeon of skin and space, the interdimensional horror of the cult's deity from the void. And in the other corner, the cycle-enforcing, time-bending, cult-creating cosmic force, the entity from the endless. Which cosmic puppet master pulls the strings of victory? The winner is the cult's deity from the void.
Subject deity's higher immediate physical manifestation score and demonstrable environmental transformation efficiency, specifically its manipulation of human physiology, secured the marginal advantage over the entity's more prolonged, temporal loop-based target engagement strategy.
From the skies and the depths, here is a showdown of brute, colossal force. In one corner, the swarms of grotesque monstrosities and the unknown presence of the mist creatures, the force. And in the other corner, the subterranean, oceanic leviathan, the ancient god from underwater. The air is thick with dread for this one. And the entity that surfaces with the wind is the mist creatures, the force.
The mist creatures, the force, secured the victory due to their superior multifaceted threat profile, encompassing both numerous, physically lethal entities and a pervasive, fear-inducing atmospheric condition, outranking the ancient god's single instance, depth-constrained massive threat index.
Finally, a clash of subtle, insidious horrors. In one corner, the creature of the water and the mind-altering transmissions, the lurker from the Block Island sound. And in the other corner, the interdimensional, pleasure and pain-seeking monstrosities, the ancient entity from beyond. The air crackles with, well, something. And in this final bout, the winner is the lurker from the Block Island sound.
Subject lurkers demonstrated cognitive manipulation efficiency, directly inducing homicidal tendencies and environmental displacement on human subjects, provided the statistically critical rank separation from the ancient entity's more technologically dependent dimensional incursion protocol.
We're taking a short break now, and after we will plunge into the ink-black depths of the top 10. Stay tuned. Welcome back. Starting our descent into madness at number 10, we have the interdimensional, pleasure and pain-seeking monstrosities, the ancient entity from beyond. What is the statistical weakness that keeps this glorious menace at the bottom of our top 10, Boris?
Subject entity's rank is primarily limited by its technological dependency index. Its ability to manifest and exert influence is contingent upon the resonator device, resulting in a statistically low unaided operational range. While its capacity for experimental reconfigurations is high, the necessity for a discrete physical gateway, rather than an inherent, universal presence, reduces its overall primal terror coefficient. Furthermore, its focus on individual subjects for sensory expansion results in a lower mass catastrophe metric compared to higher-ranked entities. A highly effective, but geographically constrained, cosmic threat.
Sliding in at number 9, it's the subtle, insidious creature of the water and the mind, the lurker from the Block Island sound. A quieter kind of terror, but potent nonetheless. What does the data say about this manipulative monster, Boris?
The lurker achieves its rank through an exceptionally high cognitive manipulation efficiency, directly causing lethal actions by altering the subject's mental state. However, its effectiveness is intrinsically tied to a specific localized maritime environment, resulting in a restricted global threat metric. The entity's tendency to operate via indirect influence and subconscious transmission rather than direct, overt destruction lowers its screen time impact factor. It's a high-yield, low-visibility threat that does not scale well to apocalyptic projections.
Climbing out of the deepest trenches and settling into number 8, we find the colossal, deep-sea horror, the ancient god from underwater. This leviathan's presence alone is an act of geological terror, Boris. Why only number 8?
This entity possesses the highest physical mass and dimensional volume index in the top 10, granting it immense structural threat capability. However, its primary weakness is its environmental constraint factor, being geographically restricted to the deep ocean abyss. Its operational model relies on subjects entering its established proximity zone, limiting its proactive threat rating. While its destructive potential is maximum, its logistical deployment across terrestrial areas is statistically minimal, preventing a higher ranking against globally pervasive threats.
At number 7, shrouded in an apocalyptic cloud, it's the collective chaos of the mist creatures, the Force. A menagerie of monstrosities brought forth by a dimensional tear. A truly unpredictable and overwhelming terror, wouldn't you agree, Boris?
This collective threat benefits from a superior multifaceted threat profile, combining numerous, physically destructive entities with the atmospheric, mind-warping effects of the mist itself. This resulted in a high immediate societal breakdown metric. The statistical limitation arises from the finite containment zone created by the initial military dimensional incursion. Despite high local lethality and fear induction, its reliance on a specific gateway event for manifestation slightly reduces its ranking below universally intrinsic horrors.
Just missing the top 5 at number 6, we have the time-bending, cult-enforcing power, the entity from the endless. It doesn't just kill, it traps its victims in repeating loops of psychological agony. What does the loop data suggest, Boris?
The entity's high ranking is justified by its near-perfect temporal control and subject confinement rating. Its ability to create and enforce isolated, inescapable narrative loops results in perpetual, high-level psychological distress. Its constraint lies in its non-expansive operational model. It maintains separate, localized containment fields for small, select groups of subjects, resulting in a statistically low population impact volume. It's a master of quality over quantity, a highly efficient, small-scale cosmic jailer.
Cracking the top 5, it's the flesh-warping, interdimensional surgeon, the cult's deity from the void. A being whose physical manifestation brings the architectural geometry of hell with it. This horror is both philosophical and brutally physical, Boris.
The deity earns its spot due to an unparalleled environmental and physiological transformation coefficient. It exhibits both high-level dimensional manipulation and immediate, grotesque alteration of human subjects into monstrous forms. While its initial manifestation requires a dedicated human proxy and ritualistic ingress, its resultant threat density and reality warp metric, within its established operational zone, are statistically maximum. This combination of physical dread and dimensional breach secures its position as a true hybrid cosmic threat.
At number 4, we encounter the beautiful, terrifying, identity-dissolving prism, the shimmer entity from Annihilation. This horror doesn't invade, it replicates, refracts, and remixes life itself. Why is this beautiful monstrosity stuck just outside the podium spots, Boris?
The shimmer's high ranking is due to its inherent replication and refraction efficiency, demonstrating the ability to rapidly assimilate and genetically redesign all known biospheres within its expansive electromagnetic field. However, its primary statistical drawback is its non-aggressive operational default. The entity's initial motivation is purely replication and observation, meaning active, targeted termination is minimal and less provoked. This slight reduction in intentional lethality score keeps it just shy of the top 3.
We have reached our bronze medalist. Blinding humanity and enforcing global sensory deprivation. At number 3 is the invisible, madness-inducing swarm, the creatures from Bird Box. Their impact was immediate, pervasive, and utterly devastating, Boris. What is their crowning statistic?
Subject creatures hold the highest global saturation and deployment speed metric in the top 10, achieving near-total planetary influence with minimal resistance. Their core strength lies in their fatal perception trigger, which forces all surviving human subjects into a state of perpetual fear and vulnerability. This complete disruption of the global social and logistical infrastructure, coupled with a 100% immediate lethality rate upon visual contact, secures its high ranking as an unparalleled, existential collapse factor.
Our terrifying silver medalist, radiating an alien, unearthly light. At number 2 is the pure, unspeakable energy of the color out of space. This entity doesn't just kill, it fundamentally breaks reality, making the landscape sick. What keeps it just shy of the ultimate prize, Boris?
The color's statistical prominence is derived from its perfect non-sentient, inherent threat profile. It requires no motivation, utilizing a high-yield bioenergy absorption field that causes universal psychological decay and grotesque biological mutation across all affected life forms. Its main, marginal weakness is its localized energy source dependency, requiring a single impact point to begin its growth and radiation. While its contamination is absolute, this initial, identifiable point of ingress is the only factor that yields to a potentially higher-ranked, globally dispersed rival.
After a short break, we will reveal the number 1 position. Stay tuned. And finally, the ultimate, the original, the reigning champion of our cosmic horror division. Resting beneath the waves, the sleeping god of madness, the one, the only. Cthulhu. Boris, give us the final statistical analysis on why this tentacled terror is statistically unbeatable.
Subject Cthulhu maintains the number 1 position due to its statistically superior inherent ontological threat rating. Its existence transcends the need for specific dimensional rifts, technological proxies, or localized impact points. Its mere mental projection radius, reaching across the planet from its slumbering state, induces universal human insanity and cult formation, proving its influence is absolute and unpreventable. The combination of infinite power, immeasurable scale, and unbeatable resilience results in a 10.0 cosmic inevitability score, securing its status as the highest-ranked entity of existential dread.